Freddy Fazbear, our beloved bear animatronic. He's the face of Fazbear Entertainment and the leader of the gang. Sometimes he's this beloved character that you just want to hug, but most of the time he's this creepy stalker that won't let you leave. There's so many different versions of him, like Toy Freddy, Phantom Freddy, Glamrock Freddy, Nightmare Freddy, Funtime Freddy, and so on. With so many Freddys, I want to rank them all and see which ones are the best. I'm ranking every bear animatronic, so also the obscure secondary characters. The only characters I'm not including in this tier list are the FNAF World Freddys and FNAF AR Freddys. Yes, that also means no Adventure Fredbear. I already have 4 different Fredbears in this tier list. I'm going to warn you here, I may have placed some fan favorite Freddys low in the tier list. I like almost every Freddy, and I can't just put everyone on the peak list, so I have to be strict on this. So keep in mind, this is my opinion, and if you have a different opinion, that's totally fine. Now let's go rank every Freddy. OG Freddy is the most recognizable character in the FNAF series. He's literally the face of FNAF. His design works perfect. He looks like a lovable bear for the kids and at the same time a terrifying animatronic. I still get the creeps looking at his flashing image. The top hat and bow tie really gave him that iconic Fazbear look, so his design aged well. His game mechanics makes him very unique from the rest. Freddy is a shy animatronic and moves much slower if you keep an eye on him. It's hard to track him since he always hides in dark corners, and when he laughs, he moves to another spot. If Freddy reaches the door, he will never leave. There's a very iconic meme of Freddy, and that's the power outage. When the lights go off in a video, you always hear Freddy's music box. Freddy's also the only one with 2 different jump scares in FNAF 1. With no doubt, Freddy goes in the peak list. I mean, without him, there was no FNAF. FNAF 1 has some very dark secrets, but Golden Freddy is definitely the most interesting one. It's a yellow version of Freddy and has white small spirit eyes. When you see that the Freddy poster has been replaced by Golden Freddy, he appears in your office. Golden Freddy just sits there, doing absolutely nothing. If you don't flip your camera on time, he starts jump scaring you. It doesn't have any animations and has a different scream than the other animatronics. There's not much interaction with him, but that makes him so mysterious. I believe that Scott first called him Yellow Bear, but Markiplier called him Golden Freddy in his video, and therefore everyone thought it was called Golden Freddy, so Scott had to change the name. You can also get jump scared by him if you type in 1987 in custom night, which of course referenced the bite of 87. FNAF 1 Golden Freddy is in my opinion the best version of him. He goes next to Freddy into the peak rank. Toy Freddy is a much more cleaner design compared to OG Freddy. He has no gaps between every shell and is made out of a plastic material. He also has big red cheeks on his face. But what makes him stand out the most is his fat belly. It makes him look more like a cartoonish honey bear. His game mechanic is exactly the same as the other toy animatronics, only he can appear in front of the office. It's a bit weird that his eyes are gone when standing in the office. I guess Scott tried making him scarier this way, but it doesn't really work for me. Toy Freddy is probably the most funniest game mechanic in UCN. You need to play Five Nights at Mr. Huck's for him. If you fail, he starts raging and blames you for it. Although it's a funny way of dealing with him, he is one of the most annoying characters in UCN. Toy Freddy is a good character and I love seeing him on the big screen. What I loved about him in the FNAF 2 movie is his voice. It really fits him.
I have to go pull the heads off some very bad people.
Toy Freddy goes into the great list. I don't think he's that special. Now let's take a peek into the parts and service room and start ranking Withered Freddy. He's in my opinion the least interesting Withered animatronic. If you take a look at all the animatronics, they all have something special. Bonnie has no face, Chica has a huge jaw, and Foxy is... well, he's Foxy. There's not much withering on Freddy. The only thing he's missing are his kneecaps. I do like that Withered Freddy looks a lot taller than original Freddy. I don't know if that's true, but he looks much bigger. He also has buttons on his belly, which Freddy doesn't have. I love this pose of him on the camera. He looks so menacing. There's not much more to say about Withered Freddy. He has a death screen, but it doesn't make him more special or anything. I'll put him also in the great list. He's an ordinary Freddy. Golden Freddy returned in FNAF 2 and looks exactly like Withered Freddy. But he has one major change. He misses an ear. Whoa! Just like original Golden Freddy, he sits on the ground in the office. But he can also appear in the hallway with his huge head. His jump scare is just his head floating towards you with the same scream as all the other animatronics. In my opinion, Withered Golden Freddy is not that great compared to the original Golden Freddy. OG Golden Freddy is much more mysterious and terrifying. He also has a unique jump scare sound. The reason I find Withered Golden Freddy not that mysterious is because you can select him in custom night. It makes him less special and mysterious. I also find him less scarier than Golden Freddy. For me, Withered Golden Freddy is the weakest version of Golden Freddy, and he just does not reach the great list. Instead, he goes in a high meh rank. We're not done with the FNAF 2 Freddys. There's one more secret character, Shadow Freddy. He's a copy of Withered Golden Freddy, but he's purple and has white teeth with spirit eyes. You can see him sitting in the parts and service room. He cannot attack you, and you cannot interact with him. Shadow Freddy is a mysterious character, just like Golden Freddy. We don't know much about him and have no idea what his purpose is in the lore. But that makes him so interesting. If Scott would have made Withered Golden Freddy just like this, I would probably put him higher in the list. In my opinion, Golden Freddy needs to be a character that can only spawn rarely, but still have the chance to kill you. Yes, I know, Withered Golden Freddy can only spawn in night 6, but making him a selectable character really weakens the mystery of Golden Freddy. So for that reason, I put Shadow Freddy one tier higher than Withered Golden Freddy. I know a lot of people disagree with me, but this is just my opinion. And by the way, this Shadow Freddy also counts for the Shadow Freddy in FNAF 3. I don't have much to say about Funtime Freddy. The Phantoms are probably the most forgettable animatronics. They are reskinned versions of other existing characters with sometimes a bit more damage. I'm a bit embarrassed when talking about Funtime Freddy's design, because I always thought it was the FNAF 1 model. But in one of my recent videos, someone told me that it's not FNAF 1 Freddy, but Withered Freddy. So I looked into it, and after seeing it, I felt very stupid. I have no idea why I always thought it was FNAF 1 Freddy. Maybe because Funtime Freddy looked a bit smaller compared to Withered Freddy. But it's obvious that it's FNAF 2 Freddy. It does make me more wonder, why is Phantom Chica the only FNAF 1 character? Let's not think about it, we need to rank Funtime Freddy. I'll put him on the lowest tier. He's nothing compared to all the other Freddys. We have a lot of Freddy characters in FNAF 4. Let's just start with Nightmare Freddy. His design is awesome. There's a lot of withering on his body and he has sharp teeth. What makes Nightmare Freddy so special are the feathers hanging on his body. I'll talk more about the feathers after ranking Nightmare Freddy. If you don't want to get jumpscared by him, you need to flash the feathers away. There's not much to say about his jumpscare, it just works scaring the player. Nightmare Freddy is cool and deserves the Fantastic rank. The feathers are cute little nightmare versions of a plush Freddy. They remind me a lot of Plush Trap. All the 3 feathers look the same, but they each have different withering. You see them most in FNAF 4, but they also appeared in UCN and Help Wanted. They make this weird sound when you encounter one of them. The feathers are nice, but not that recognizable. They are going in the meh rank. Now let's rank the first Fredbear animatronic. Nightmare Fredbear is my favorite Nightmare animatronic. He looks so sick. He has a huge belly like original Fredbear has, the purple bow tie and top hat, and gigantic teeth, even in his belly. In Night 5, you have to face off against Nightmare Fredbear. He replaces all the other Nightmare animatronics. So he can appear in both hallways, the closet and on the bed. Even if he's a big animatronic, he can move fast. If the nightmares are real and not some sort of hallucination, then this is our first real Fredbear encounter, if you don't look at the ghost version of him. Nightmare Fredbear is one of our closest look of the real Fredbear, and his design is so cool. Without a doubt, he goes right into the peak rank. What happens with the animatronic if you get rid of the word Fredbear? Well, you get a black version of him. It's the same design, but now has a darker color and a yellow bow tie and top hat. Also, his body parts are transparent. He only appears in Nightmare mode and 2020-2020 mode. I have heard a lot of theories on Nightmare, but still have no idea what his real purpose is. His jumpscare is probably the most boring one of all the Nightmare animatronics. It's just the image of his head with this weird sound effect. In UCN he got a proper jumpscare. Although that Nightmare Fredbear is a peak character, I can't say the same thing on Nightmare. His jumpscare and being a recolor pushes him a bit lower in the tier list. He goes in the great list. It's time we rank the real Fredbear. In FNAF 4 we get to see Fredbear in the form of an 8-bit character. Before I rank Fredbear, I have to address this opinion from a lot of people. Many FNAF fans believe that UCN Fredbear is the official design of Fredbear, and I respect that opinion. I myself don't believe that. I think Fredbear looks like an animatronic with a big belly, just like Nightmare Fredbear. UCN Fredbear is the exact same design as the original Freddy, and I don't think that makes sense. Some people say that the original gang were inside the 1983 pizzeria, but I think it are the unwitted animatronics. If you look at Spring Bonnie, he doesn't look like original Bonnie, and he also doesn't look like unwitted Bonnie. He has a special design. So how does it make sense that Fredbear did look like original Freddy? This is just what I think, and I have no problem on people who think otherwise. But now, let's go back on ranking Fredbear. It's a mysterious character who always has been in the shadow of Fazbear Entertainment, and also has a disturbing kill. He fits in the fantastic rank. Keep in mind that I'm talking about the real Fredbear animatronic here, and not some sort of copy or ghost version. Alright, one more Fredbear before I go over to Freddy again. Let's rank plush Fredbear. I was not sure ranking this cute character, but it has some story in FNAF 4. This plush is always talking to crying child, making sure he's always aware of his surroundings. In this location, we see this plushie in the office with a walkie-talkie in his hand. So people believe that William was talking to crying child while he was working, or should I say, killing kids. He made sure that crying child would stay scared of the animatronics and would never get too close to them. This was his way of protecting his kids from the murdering he's doing. The plush is really cute, and I would wish having this plush Fredbear in my room. But compared to animatronic characters, I cannot put this adorable plush high in the tier list. I'll give him the meh rank. Let's take a look at the books and start ranking Twisted Freddy. I've never read the Twisted ones, but I know a little bit about the animatronics. I know that they dig themselves in the ground and wait for the night to arrive. They also have these illusional discs that transform them into nightmarish animatronics. Looking at Twisted Freddy, he got a lot of these dirty bubbles on his skin. He has gigantic sets of teeth and got a huge hole in his belly with lots of spikes. His claws are also very big and sharp. I like the design of Twisted Freddy, but it's unfortunate that we don't see much of him. He goes in the meh rank. Over to Funtime Freddy, the first Freddy with an official voice. Funtime Freddy is a very shiny animatronic, just like Toy Freddy. He's painted white and purple instead of brown and got faceplates he can open and close. Funtime Freddy has a special side character on his arm, Bonbon. Bonbon is not completely stuck to Freddy's arm, he can remove himself. In Custom Night, it sounds like Funtime Freddy throws Bonbon at the door, which is very funny.
Hey, Bonbon, go get him!
The Funtime animatronics have some of the best jumpscare animations, and it's all because of their faceplates. They reveal their scary endoskeleton inside their suits. Funtime Freddy is programmed to capture kids inside his belly, which is very cruel. Like I said, Funtime Freddy is the first Freddy with a voice. He's voiced by Kellen Goff, who voices a lot of the FNAF characters in the games. This gives Funtime Freddy a bit more personality, which is always great to see. I love Funtime Freddy, he's a great character and deserves to be on the fantastic rank. If we scoop out Funtime Freddy's skin, we get the naked Yendo. Yendo is not Funtime Freddy, but is a bare endoskeleton. People believe that Yendo is the Golden Freddy in this location, because of his name. They say Yendo stands for Yellow Endoskeleton, which is of course the color of Golden Freddy. He also has yellow eyes that proves this theory more. In the main game, you only have a chance to see Yendo in the Funtime Auditorium. However, in Custom Night he is a selectable character with an actual jump scare. There's not much more information about him. He did return once in Help 1 and 2, which is very nice. I'll put Yendo in the great list, he is cool. Let's rank the Freddy that's always begging for coins, Rockstar Freddy. What I find interesting in Rockstar Freddy is his purple bow tie and top hat. They are not black like all the other Freddy animatronics, so he got this from Fredbear. This could make sense because the FNAF 6 pizzeria has been built by Henry, and he was the original creator of Fredbear. Like in his name, Rockstar Freddy has a huge star on his belly. I don't find him very recognizable in FNAF 6, but more in UCN. He's a basic Freddy and is not really that special, so he goes in the great list. Dreadbear is an obscure secondary character from Freddy. I mean, he said it himself.
Don't you hate getting killed by obscure secondary characters?
It looks like a cheaper version of Rockstar Freddy. He has a tie and a head on a spring. I don't really know what to say about Dreadbear. He's just a new bear animatronic. His jump scare is a bit goofy and he's not that special to me. Dreadbear goes all the way down to the bad bear rank. I don't really like him. Lefty is a very important character in FNAF 6. It's an animatronic that's made to trap the puppet. The puppet can go anywhere she wants, so to keep her in place, Henry made this animatronic. Lefty is the exact same animatronic as Rockstar Freddy. The only thing that's different is that she's missing an eyeball. And of course, she's left-handed instead of right-handed. I find it very unfortunate that we can't see the puppet inside Lefty. Like if Lefty opens her mouth, you don't see the puppet's face. The only time we see the puppet inside Lefty is in this image. You can just see a part of the puppet inside her arm. Although she is a recolor of Rockstar Freddy, I like the black color more, and she's of course more important to the story. So Lefty goes in the fantastic rank. There's another Freddy with multiple spirits inside in FNAF 6, and that's Molten Freddy. His design looks a lot like a bowl of spaghetti. The whole animatronic is made out of wires and wears an old Funtime Freddy mask. He still found a bow tie to wear and he got metal fingers. Molten Freddy is the aftermath of Anert. That's why he got all those eyeballs. I think the reason that Anert looks like a blob is because Baby's missing. She's not part of the animatronic anymore. That probably made Anert a bit weaker and that's why he couldn't make legs. That's just a little theory of mine. Even though he looks like my cable management behind my desk, I still like him. It's such a unique design and works very good for a broken animatronic. I also love that the masks are just small pieces that he put back together. Molten Freddy has a sick design, he has a good backstory and got Funtime Freddy's voice. He deserves a spot on the Fantastic rank. Over to our last FNAF 6 Freddy, the one that everyone has been waiting for, Helpy. He started in FNAF 6 dancing in the corner and playing some of our safe attractions. Later on, we started seeing him much more in the Steelwall games. He even became a villain in Ruin, which is the last thing I expected to see from him. But I guess we could have seen it coming. We caused Helpy a lot of pain in our attractions and by operating on him. I think that we owe a big apology to Helpy.
I'm sorry, little one.
Like in his name, he helps us by explaining what we need to do. Well, most of the time. Helpy looks like a mini version of Funtime Freddy, but with no bonbon. For being our trusty helper in almost every new FNAF game, I'll put him in the Fantastic rank. I can't hurt this little fellow anymore, he deserves it. We are back with another Fredbear animatronic, UCN Fredbear. I already told my opinion on this animatronic. I don't think this is the real Fredbear, even though it's Scott's last game and it would make sense he finally wanted to show us Fredbear. There are just so many other theories that just debunks the design of UCN Fredbear. Like, why doesn't Fredbear look like Withered Freddy? He was in the 1983 pizzeria, not original Freddy. And what's the point of making Nightmare Fredbear big? Making him scarier? He could also be perfectly scary by not giving him a fat belly. And why does Prototype Fredbear look much bigger than original Freddy and also has a huge jaw? The only reason I could see on how UCN Fredbear is the real one is because Scott abandoned the idea of a fat Fredbear animatronic, which would really disappoint me honestly. But again, this is my opinion and I don't want to hurt other people's opinion. We all got different theories and that's what makes FNAF so amazing. We have to fill the story with our own ideas. I've said enough of the Fredbear debate. I still think UCN Fredbear looks amazing and his dinosaur scream is insane. He will go in the great rank. Now we're gonna rank a spooky version of Freddy, Dreadbear. Dreadbear was introduced in the Dreadbear DLC. That sounds obvious. He's basically a Frankenstein Freddy and I love that idea. You see huge bolts on the side of his jaws and he got stitching all around his body. I also like his big human teeth and yellow eyes. On images, Dreadbear doesn't look very big, but if you have played the DLC in VR, you know how huge Dreadbear really is. There is one minigame where you have to make a brain for Dreadbear, which is such a neat idea. It fits the Frankenstein theme really well. There are different Easter eggs in the Halloween hub, but my favorite one is the Dreadbear passing by. He walks just like Frankenstein. There's also a death hub where you see a skyscraper high Dreadbear. I guess Dreadbear was the tallest animatronic all along. This spooky themed Freddy needs a spot in the Fantastic rank. Let's rank Glamrock Freddy next, the most lovable bear in the franchise. First of all, his design is great. It's based off a punk rock style. He has spiky bracelets on his arms, paint on his face and chest plate, and got big shoulder caps. His belly is designed to keep and hide presents and oversized birthday cakes, but by coincidence a kid also fits in his belly. If you talk about his personality, there's nothing bad to say. He's probably the nicest person in all FNAF games. He really cares about Gregory, which he only met in one night. Sometimes he can be a bit too friendly, but there's no reason to hate him. All the trouble he's going through that night is because of us, and he still wants to help us. In some endings, his personality does change rapidly, but in the canon ending, he's still a lovable Freddy. His animations look great, and he has a mysterious background. With no doubt, Glamrock Freddy deserves the peak rank. I mean, how could he not? I don't really know if the Blob counts as a Freddy, but I included him anyway. The Blob / Tangle looks like an upgraded version of Molten Freddy. His size has increased a lot and got different parts of animatronics inside of him. The Blob's head is also different than Molten Freddy's head. I always found the Blob's design a bit weird. First of all, where did those old animatronic parts come from? I think he stole some of the parts out of the display cabinets in the green rooms, but that are only the FNAF 1 animatronics. So how did he get the faces of Baby and Funtime Freddy? The only reasonable explanation for this is that Henry collected all the old parts from Fazbear Entertainment and brought it here in the FNAF 6 pizzeria. There is a theory that the Blob is the remaining spirit that survived the FNAF 6 fire, although I don't think that's the case. I think more that the spirits of the dead staff that went inside the sinkhole are the ones possessing the Blob. Or perhaps the missing children in the pizzaplex. Maybe both. We know one thing for sure. The Blob is canon. We see him for a brief moment in Ruin. I like to think that the Blob was also one of the reasons that caused earthquakes inside the pizzaplex. He probably digged some holes underneath the pizzaplex, which weakened the foundation. There are still a lot of questions on the Blob, and I hope we get some more answers in the next FNAF game. But for now, I don't really know what to think of the Blob. He's probably an important character, but we have so little information on him. So for now, he goes in the meh rank. Maybe if we get to see more of him, I will put him higher. Let's rank Glamrock Freddy again, but this time his ruined design. This is my favorite ruined animatronic. Steve really cooked on this design. He has no head, because we collected his head in the canon ending from Security Breach. So instead of jump scaring us with his face, he used his belly. Steve transformed his belly into this monstrous mouth, with sharp broken edges for his teeth. And he's still got a present inside of him. A really clever thing that Steve did is confusing us with the prototype text on his foot. We have no idea if this is the Freddy we met in Security Breach. We also can't see it by his upgrades. His skin on his hands are completely gone, he has no bow tie, and with no head, we can't see if he has the Roxy eyes upgrade. What I love in the ruined version of Freddy is that his personality is totally changed. Instead of being a nice Freddy, he just starts killing everything that comes in his way. The only two downsides of this animatronic is that we don't see him much in the game and that we don't really know if this is the real Glamrock Freddy. He is almost a peak rank Freddy, but for those two reasons I'll put him a rank lower. In Help 1 and 2 we meet Carney. Carney is another recaller of Rockstar Freddy. His colors are brown and blue and he also wears a shirt. What I like most about Carney is his voice. It fits him perfectly. Carney is in my opinion a forgettable animatronic. We don't see him much in Help 1 and 2. I wanted to put him on the lowest rank, but then I remembered he got a burnt version too. Although it's only active for a few seconds and dies, it's still great to see some more content of him. Instead of ranking them separately, I ranked them into one. So with the burnt Carney in mind, he goes one rank up. Secret of the Mimic showed the origins of Helpy. Mr. Helpful is a bear animatronic designed to help the staff around the factory. He has no legs and got long vertical eyes. His animations are always the same. He got a few poses to perform when talking. There is also a half-done Mr. Helpful animatronic you can find on the right. It's pretty cool to see the inside of Mr. Helpful. I also love the part on the right where he tells us how badly the company is doing, but still believes there is nothing to worry about.
In summary, nothing to worry about. You got this.
Although it is Helpy's origins, he's not that interesting to me. I give him the meh rank, and it also applies to Mrs. Helpful. She only looks a bit different and she got Fiona's voice. The last Freddy character in this tier list is the prototype Fredbear suit. It's very cool to see another glimpse of Fredbear, this time in a prototype version. The spring locks are a bit wider than normal animatronics, so that a person can easily fit inside of them. Prototype Fredbear has no colors, but does have a purple bow tie. Like in the FNAF 4 minigame, he has a huge jaw, and those metal pipes holding the head and jaw together look very familiar to the 8-bit Fredbear. Steve did a good job on making a springlock suit. I can see how an endoskeleton and human would fit in this. It doesn't look very safe, but that's what we used to know from springlocks. There's not much more to say about the prototype Fredbear. He looks good and it's always nice to see another version of Fredbear. He goes right into the great list. And that are all the Freddys ranked. I didn't know there were so many different versions of him. I hope I didn't miss one. Do you find my tier list reasonable, or would you like to summon Withered Freddy in my room? Let me know what's your favorite Freddy down in the comments. If you enjoyed this ranking video, please leave a like and perhaps subscribe to the channel.